So far, we've just been typing things into our Python shell. And for simple expressions, that's okay. But it's even there a little bit painful. And when we want to do things that we might like to run multiple times, or when we want to do things with multiple commands, we'd really like a better way to deal with that. And for that, we'd like to have a text editor. Just like an editor you'd use for writing Word documents, we'd like an editor into which we can type Python expressions. And in most cases, that comes as part of something called an IDE, an integrated development environment. I happen to be using one from Anaconda. IDLE's another version of it. And that IDE comes both with a text editor, into which I can enter things, I can edit them, and I can save them away. A shell, which is that place where I'm going to be able to interact and where I can load that information in before I do that interaction. And as we'll see later on, an integrated debugger. And I want to show you just an example of how I would use that text editor as part of the IDE. Your own computer may have a slightly different version, but you should be able to figure it out. Let me simply show you an interaction on mine. So on my computer, I have both a text file opened up as well as the shell. And here I'm going to type in a couple of expressions. I'm going to set x to the value 5. And then I'm going to create a little conditional. I'm going to say if x is not equal to 5. And remember, I'm going to close that conditional with a colon to tell me I'm at the end of it. When I hit a carriage return, the editor automatically indents, which is really nice. I know that the next set of things should be indented. So in this case, I'm going to say print out, I am here. I have no idea why, but it seems like a reasonable thing to print out. I hit a carriage return, I'm still at the same place, but then I'm going to put in an else clause. And notice it nicely indents back because the else should be at the same level as the if. And then I'm going to say print, no, I am not. Now I want to run this, meaning I'd like to load this information into my shell. There are a number of ways to do it, but the easiest one is if I go up to my menu item at the top, there's something called run. And if I click on that, it gives me a set of options, including something called run. And I hit run. And it's going to ask me where to store that file. I'm going to give it a name temporarily. And it said I didn't like that. So I'm going to try it again, giving it a place that I know I can store it to. Let me do that. I'm going to pick a particular place, save it away. Oh, nice. If you now look at my shell, it's actually evaluated that code. It turns out that I have other options here. Under that menu, I could run the entire file, or I could pick something out and run just a portion of it. I could select a thing using the mouse or run a line. One of the other things I'd like to do is to run that file multiple times. So for example, I could say, I'm going to change x from 5 to 6. And now, turns out on my machine, there's a shortcut, which is just function F5. It may be different on your machine. It automatically saves the file away, executes it, and again, on my shell, I've now seen a printout. This is going to be really nice. It's going to let me have easier ways to edit files, edit code before I run them. And so what you have then is that ability to have both a place into which you can type things, save them away, and a place in which you can then evaluate them in order to do the kinds of computations we've been discussing.